Hi guys, my name's Lauren and I'm here today in the Children's Mercy Research Institute. I was actually once a patient here in the hospital and now I'm here to show you a super cool experiment. Believe it or not, strawberries have DNA just like you and I do, and today we're going to extract it and take a look. So let's start talking about how to do this. First, I have a beaker with a stirring rod, but if you're at home or here in the hospital, you can feel free to grab a cup and maybe something like a butter knife to grab the DNA once we're all done. Then we have water, dish soap, isopropyl alcohol, salt, a strainer, and some measuring stuff here. So I have a 1/3 cup measuring cup, half a teaspoon, and 1 tablespoon. Then I have my scissors, my Ziploc bag, and most importantly, my strawberries. So I'm gonna start by opening my Ziploc bag and putting my strawberries inside. And then I wanna seal it up nice and tight and squeeze all the air out. Once it's sealed so that it doesn't leak out, I'm gonna start smashing my strawberries, and hopefully none of the sticky stuff will leak out here. Just really wanna get no big clumps left over. So I just finished mashing up our strawberries here. I really only have seeds and little tiny chunks left, so I got rid of all of the big pieces of strawberries. And next up, we are really just gonna mix together our solution that we're gonna add so that we're one step closer to seeing the DNA. So I'm gonna start with my water here, and I'm gonna grab my 1/3 measuring cup, and I pour it in all the way to the top. I'm gonna dump it in my bowl here. Now we can set this stuff off to the side. Next, we'll move on to our salt. Just table salt works perfectly. And this is where I take my half teaspoon and I'll scoop some salt. Don't want to overfill it too much. Dump that into my bowl. And next up we have our soap. So I'm going to grab my soap and use my 1 tablespoon to measure. Dump that in. And then I'm just going to gently mix to combine all of that together. So once I have it all mixed up, I'm going to keep using that 1 tablespoon to measure. And I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of our solution into my Ziploc bag. So I have 1, 2, and 3. This is a good starting point. And if we need to add more, we can always add more, but you can't really take it out once you've added it. So now I'm really just gonna keep on mushing my strawberries with my solution until I see it start to form a little bit of foam. I'm gonna work all of my little chunks of strawberries over there too so that we can see as much DNA as possible. And you have to be a little patient on this step because the foamier it gets, the better. Okay, so now, as you can see, I have a good layer of foam at the top. So I'm going to actually cut the corner off of my Ziploc bag. And now I'm going to strain it. So this is where I'm going to strain it into my beaker, but you'll go ahead and use that cup that you have. So I pour it into my strainer. And now I have to be patient and wait for it to all drain out. We're trying to separate the juice from the little chunks of strawberries that we have left. Okay, so now I have just the strawberry juice left in my beaker or in your glass. And now comes the cool part. I am going to take my isopropyl alcohol and pour a thin layer on top. And the reason that this alcohol is going to stay on top is because it's less dense than our strawberry mixture. So as you can see, as we let it sit, it's all going to separate out. We have to be patient again and let the strawberry stuff drop to the bottom. Now for the best part, we get to see the DNA up close and in person. So I'm just going to scoop and pull up, and this is all strawberry DNA. So the reason we can see this is because our cells have 2 sets of DNA, but strawberry cells actually have 8 sets. So we don't need to be a fancy scientist to see their DNA. We can see it right here at the hospital or in your kitchen. Well, guys, that's all I have for you today, but thank you so much for participating and watching this experiment. I think science is so cool, and I hope you do too. There's a lot of great stuff happening here at the Children's Mercy Research Institute, and I hope that this was a great look inside some of the science.